All right, everybody, we're going to get started. So I'm going to do an online profiles training. I initially was going to have everybody bring their laptops and we were going to walk through some things, but I realized that everybody is at a very different point and some people have certain profiles and others don't. So I don't want people just sitting around if they already have something that we'd go over. So this will be probably 30 minutes or less because that's usually how my trainings work. And then if anybody wants to set up a one-on-one to go into your specific profiles, we can definitely work on that and get you situated. That way we're not wasting everybody else's time. But why is it important to have online profiles? I mean, we've all heard this statistic a bunch of times, right? 97% of buyers are searching for houses online. Everybody's also searching online when they're looking for a realtor. So you should probably have your profiles set up. Where should you have your profile set up, right? So CB Desk, why CB Desk? Because that feeds out to our Moxie websites that you get for free. Does anybody not have their Moxie website set up? Well, you paid for, oh, I appreciate it, Terry. Thank you for the input. Got it. Mackenzie, okay. Huh? Tomorrow? Okay. So if you don't have your Moxie website set up and you are still using InTouch, that's a different story because you're probably paying for that. But if you don't have anything in your CB Desk profile or your Moxie website set up, you don't essentially have a website. And Coldwell Banker is giving you that IDX feed from Bright for free. So you can be putting, anytime you post a listing out on any of your profiles, you should be posting it from your own website, because then it'll go directly into your CRM when people are putting their information in or they're searching. So if you're doing postings on social media, please do not use Zillow or Trulia or Realtor.com because it's not going to come back to you for that lead. So be posting it from your own website and make sure that everything is up to date as well. But yeah, so CB Desk profile, the very least picture, bio. And you should have reviews as well. But those are the two basic things that you should definitely have in your CB Desk profile. That feeds to everything Coldwell Banker, but most importantly, for outside business, that's going to feed to your website. Google. So you should set up a Google business page. So you go to Google and you can create a business page. They also have a platform where you can post through it. If you have a home snap, somebody's not muted. Can you mute yourself, please? Yeah. Whoever's in your car, could you mute yourself? Possibly. But anyway, so Google business pages. These are important because people use Google for a lot of things. That's the biggest used search engine, and it's usually the default for a lot of people. So if you don't have a Google business page, I highly suggest that. Zillow, we always talk about how much we hate it, but unfortunately, the reality is people are searching on Zillow, right? So if they're searching for a realtor and you don't have a profile, that's a problem. Trulia, owned by Zillow, same kind of concept. And then Realtor.com, obviously, you should get your profile set up in there as well. So again, very least picture, bio, and all of these things.
If you set up a Google business page, can you link it to your personal website?
You can have, so your Moxie, you can have links to all of your other profiles in that, yes. So we'll talk about reviews a little bit. I'll jump ahead. So reviews, unfortunately, people need to leave them in each specific spot. And that's kind of the problem. So, right, like you can put your testimonials on your Moxie website because you're copying and pasting them, but you can't put anything into Zillow, anything into Google. Those have to be left by the consumer only. So we should be asking for those.
So have them leave them in one of those and then copy and paste them onto your Moxie website.
Onto your website, yes. But if they're, and same thing with Zillow. So yeah, so Zillow and Google, you can't just put testimonials in there unless it's part of your bio. So the reviews, when you get like the star rating, those have to be directly from the consumer and they usually have to have an account. So it is a two-step process, but if your clients love you, it's really not a hard ask. Just say, hey, if you wouldn't mind, this will help me get business. And most of the time, they're more than happy to do that for you. Just blast out, sure. Yeah. Yeah. I should develop that. Terry, from tomorrow. No, I'm not a morning person. We are not doing anything from 8 to 9 tomorrow. So what information should you have on your profiles? So headshots. So experts say you should redo your headshots every 1 to 2 years, right? Like that is that is a lot, and I understand that. I would probably suggest every 5 if you haven't. Your face changes, your hair can change. I mean, your hair can change from month to month, but you should be the person that they see in the photo. You shouldn't be 40 years older than the photo, things like that. So just be the person of the photo that you're putting out there for everybody. Bio, update it yearly. So good things to put in there are your statistics from the previous year. If you've gotten any new designations or certifications or anything like that. And even sales volume could be something. Coldwell Banker does our awards. So if you're President Circle, Sterling Society, those types of things, there are those little badges that you can also add to your bio. Just something to show people that you know what you're doing, and you've been, selling some real estate. So background image, if applicable. So like Google, it's like Facebook, there'll be like a background image. So make sure that that's set up, and it's not this stock photo that says like no image, or it's like something of like Tuscany, because that's so relevant to our market. And again, so back to reviews. So ask your clients to leave them. It's really not that hard of an ask. If you just make it pretty simple, it can be an email that you send out after a closed transaction, or even at the settlement table. Hey, I'd love for you to write me a review if you have time, or a good follow-up a week after, right? Hey, just want to see how it's going. If you wouldn't mind, I would love for you to write me a review. Very simple and easy. What's important? Why it's important to keep your profiles up to date. I already talked about this a little bit. You want your picture to look like the person your client is meeting. Your profiles, you want potential clients to see what you've been doing recently and how long you've been in the business. I've checked some of our agents' profiles, and it talks about business from like 2018, 2016. If somebody searches that, it's going to look to them like you haven't done anything since those years. Why would you be referencing 5 years ago, right? So you want to make sure that those things are up to date. And reviews, you want potential clients to see that you're still actively helping clients. So if you were really good at asking for reviews 4 years ago, but you haven't asked anybody for anything, again, it looks like you haven't done business in a few years. So it's just good to keep that steady system going. Social media. So this is interesting. Social media is not for everybody, and I totally understand that. So these are the most popular social media sites. LinkedIn, social, but more networking, but we'll kind of get into that. I have a slide for each one of these platforms. My caveat to social media is if you have the profiles, post in them or consistently use them, because again, kind of like your websites, if you're referencing a few years ago, if you have a Facebook business page and you post on it every 3 months and you're like super excited about it, and you post 5 times in a week and then don't post anything again for 4 months, like that's not consistent, right? So consistency is key. And algorithms within social media are important as well. So the more you post, the more engagement you get. So if people are commenting and liking, if they comment, even if it's like cool photo or this is awesome, make sure you respond to them, because that means that it'll show up for more people because you're actually engaging and active on these platforms. And don't overstep. Like if you know you're not going to post on TikTok, just don't make an account. Like that's fine, right? Like that's not for everybody. Same thing with Twitter, Instagram. If you're only comfortable with Facebook, then just use Facebook. You don't have to put yourself in 8 million different directions. So go with what you have time for, basically. So Facebook, we'll kind of run through just some bullet points about Facebook. So you must have a personal account to have a business account. It's just how they track how you who owns the business account. But you can toggle over to a business account, so you don't have to post the same things in each account, things like that. You can't technically promote or sell on your personal page. So we do see this a lot, but somebody could technically report you, and then they could basically put you in Facebook jail because you're not supposed to be promoting or selling. That doesn't mean you can't share your business page post on your personal page. On your personal page saying open house, as you'd like. Ability Facebook has requires posting consistently, but not too often. So again, you don't want to be posting 5 times a day, but you don't want to post 5 times and then not for 3 months. Oh, Terry. Okay, so Facebook is the most used social media platform still at this point. Almost 3 billion people use Facebook. Hold on, let me take a drink. My allergies are making me stuffy. Anyway, Facebook stories. So a story is that little bubble that you'll see at the top, and you can post like video, photos, but they disappear within 24 hours. It's kind of similar to Snapchat in a way, but stories do not necessarily save on your profile. Option for paid advertising, but you can still obviously promote and put things out on your business page without having to pay for it, but you can then boost it. Anytime you see sponsored under something that's showing up in your feed, that means somebody paid to put it there. And that's actually what HomeSpotter Boost kind of does when you get that social media advertising with the listing concierge package. When it says sponsored and it's putting your listing out, that's because we're paying to have it put out there. There's a professional dashboard that allows you to see how many people saw your content. So each post, it can show you how many people actually saw it. So it means it showed up in their newsfeed. On Facebook, how many people reacted to it and how many people commented on it. And this is, you can really dive into these things and get super nerdy about it and be like, okay, so if I post this day at this time, I'm getting more interaction than if I post this day at this time. And the rule of thumb is kind of to be posting when the people in your sphere are using the platform, right? So if you're a millennial, it's always. If you're not, it's probably in the evenings, maybe around like after dinner time or early in the morning, because some people will get up and just scroll through Facebook, but they're not checking it 8 times, 10 times a day, that type of thing. So when your people are on Facebook is when you want to be posting your content. And then you can also delegate someone else to manage your business page too. So if you're like, this is great, but I don't want to deal with it, there are companies out there that will actually run your business page for you, and you can delegate them access to post for you, to comment for you, and those types of things. Because the thing with social media is that time is of the essence. If somebody's commenting and you're not seeing it for 5 hours and you're commenting back, that's not necessarily going to give you any gains from it. So go ahead, Brooke.
I know on the Instagram business page, you cannot dictate who can see it and not see it. If you have a business account Facebook page attached to your personal account, can you still dictate who has access to your personal account?
Oh, so yeah. So for Facebook, just because you have to have a personal page to have a business page, you don't have to invite any of your friends to like your business page. No. Just because they liked your business page, they cannot view your personal page. So you could essentially have a personal page with no photo, with no anything on it. You never post on your personal account, but then have a business account that people like, and you can use that as a platform. I guess the problem with that is people will often, when they create a business profile, invite their friends. So if you're not using it as a personal account, you're going to have to kind of put it out there like in an email, like, hey, like my Facebook page, because you're not going to be able to invite people if you're not friends with them. You can't specifically say, oh, this person that I'm not friends with, I'd like to invite you to my business page. Does that make sense?
Yes. So are you recommending to have like a phone personal? Because sometimes I don't always want my clients looking at my personal Facebook page. I mean, not that I put stuff out there, but you know what I mean? Like mixing business.
Well, so what I was kind of saying to her is that they don't have access to your personal page just because they have access to your business page. If you wanted to have a separate business or a separate personal page that you just posted random things that you don't care if your clients see, you could do that. But there's also a way on your personal page to put your friends into groups and to only post things and certain people can see it. So some people post publicly, which means you don't even have to be their friend to see what they're posting on their page. Some people, when they put something up, says friends only. That means only people they're friends with can see that post. But then you can dial it down even more and put your friends into groups and say, I only want family and friends to see this. So you could essentially be Facebook friends with your clients, put them into their own group, and then only let them see certain things that you want them to see on your personal page. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you for the questions. Yeah. Otherwise, this training would be like 10 minutes. Huh? So Instagram, so they have personal and business accounts, kind of like what Brooke said, though, it's not the same as Facebook. So you can't necessarily separate the two. Intended for phone and tablets only. So if you've ever tried to go to Instagram on your computer, I think you can log in, but you can't post from your computer. But it is intended only for phones and tablets. You can connect it to Facebook, which means what you post on Instagram can automatically be posted on Facebook, or you can be given that option every time you post on Instagram to post on Facebook and vice versa. Again, ability to do live video, requires posting consistently, but not too often. There's about 1.4 billion people using Instagram now. Again, option for paid advertising. There's a professional dashboard as well. You can delegate for someone to manage your page. And then this is kind of where hashtags come in. So Instagram have made hashtags a big thing. So the point of a hashtag is to make something searchable. So if you go onto Instagram and you search Camp Hill, Pennsylvania, anybody that posted something and put the hashtag Camp Hill, PA, you're going to be able to see that post. So what you want to do is kind of choose hashtags that people would be searching, and or create your own hashtags that you're going to build up. So every time you post something, you put Camp Hill, PA, Coldwell Banker Realty, sold, house for sale, like things like that. And then like Terry Barr Real Estate. What's your tagline? CentralPALuxury.com. So you could hashtag that. And then every time Terry uses that, it'll show how many posts CentralPALuxury.com or Central PA Luxury has used that hashtag. And the more he builds that, the more he'll get seen. So, Mackenzie?
IG just put out a new content.
Are you like buds with them? Yeah.
Well,
IG. I'm just kidding.
That if you cycle the same hashtag,
Mhm.
your video doesn't, or your post actually gets backlogged. So you're supposed to like cycle through like.
Well, yeah, don't use the same exact thing every single post, right?
If it's your business, that's fine, but if it's like buying, looking to buy, buying Central PA, it's selling. If you do the same thing for all of your post actually gets backlogged behind somebody that just put it for the first time.
Gotcha.
So they actually said like every week it cycles.
Mhm.
So you can do the same one, or you can get like 50 different hashtags.
Sure.
Take like 10, and do that.
Sure.
Like if you're posting weekly.
Yeah. So- No, stop.
Run it. Well, no, you can cycle back to the first 10. So it's like you have to keep it different.
Yeah.
Other than like business.
So I would be curious to dive into that. I hadn't read about that. But so if you're changing most of the hashtags but keeping a couple of the same, is it still bumping you?
Yeah. No.
No.
It's if you just do the same thing.
The same exact. So
So I used
yeah.
to have like 15 hashtags that I put on my.
yeah,
When it was a real.
sure.
And they just
Use the
said
same.
they're taking that away because like there's businesses or
Sure.
there's fishing out there. that
Yeah.
are-
No, I used to do the same thing. I had like a note in my phone that had like 25 hashtags on it, and I would just copy and paste depending on what it is. But it should be specific to the post. But if you want to keep your hashtag relevant or Coldwell Banker relevant, you can use those same couple, but make sure you're changing the other ones, is what it sounds like. Cool. Yeah.
So like, I always understood that hashtags make your posts more viewable,
Mhm.
but like, I really don't understand the point, like, when I search hashtag Terry Bar Rocks Real Estate, like, are you?
Just one poster.
Yeah.
So like, are people searching hashtags? Or
Yeah.
Why? Like,
Well, so you can follow a specific hashtag. So-
So you click, well, but you can click on a hashtag.
Your post can still pop up, but it's
Because they
like,
clicked on
correct.
PA cells. Okay.
Well, yeah.
Hashtag.
Sure.
Like, I've never searched like
You
PA
go onto
cells.
a hashtag, like in,
Yeah.
in the post, they click on that hashtag
And then hopefully
and
other
everything
people
will
post
come up under that hashtag. So if you like certain,
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't search hashtags, but
Well, I
some
guess,
people do.
I guess that was my question, like, if yours is Mackenzie sells real estate, who's searching that?
Right.
Like, what else
I
would they?
think that
How does that drive
not that I
business?
use this for any kind of an expert at
Yeah.
all, to be clear.
Right?
But like when you go to like an event,
Uh-huh.
right, and then they'll say, use this hashtag.
Sure.
Then you can get comments of other people that, like, in that case, you would know that there were other people
Right.
that were following that.
Sure.
So that would make more sense.
General, like you would
Sure.
have specific
Well,
to like.
So,
We've done that on CB.
yeah, well, I mean, that, we have that hashtag CB proud thing that people take photos with. Yeah, but so for instance, like you can also follow certain hashtags. You don't have to search them. So if you follow Harrisburg, PA, anytime somebody tags that, it can potentially show up in your newsfeed. So if you're only following your friends and you're not following any sort of hashtag, then no, it's probably not going to be as relevant. But I know that a lot of people follow specific hashtags based on things that they're interested in.
Words.
Yeah, I mean, and so not everybody's looking to buy and sell all the time. This is something we talk about on social media a lot, right? So you shouldn't just be posting, do you want to buy a house? Do you want to buy a house? Hey, buy this house. Here's this house for sale, right? Like people are always interested in decor stuff though, or like Pinterest type things. Like that's the kind of stuff that should be incorporated into your real estate, like social media platforms, because that's stuff that's going to be relevant to everybody. Because not everybody has a bedroom or living room, but you know what I mean? Like that's something that is more general than just like buying and selling, because that's not the market all the time. So you need to be posting content that is going to be interesting to people. So making people laugh on social media is important. One of the biggest liked posts that I have is literally a donut sitting on a paper towel on my passenger seat that I got after I won a listing. And I was like, cool, I got a listing and a donut. And everybody thought it was the best thing in the world. Like, but it was so silly. Like, it was just so silly. Yeah.
You
And
also
then
have to be authentic to who you are.
you do.
Not everybody
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
No, that's true. I mean, and I was putting a listing in and my cat was like sitting on my paperwork and I posted it and I actually got a client from that because she was like, oh, I saw whatever and bought a house for me. Like, and that she literally said, this is why I decided to work with you. Weird stuff.
Yeah.
Completely unqualified.
I could have been a crazy person. But so we talk about this all the time. Like you can be as qualified as you want, but people have to be comfortable with you and they have to like you too. Yes. Like that connection is very, very important. I mean, there is a line between you have absolutely no idea what you're doing and here are all of my credentials. Like, I mean, I'm sure everybody's heard, I've been in the business for 25 years. Like I know everything. We all know that's not the case. For some people, they're still working off of the things they learned 25 years ago. Like when you're using that statement, you're usually trying to puff your chest, right? So knowing what you're doing and also being relatable, I mean, that combination is what's important, I think. Not just having a cat, although cats are cute. Anyway, moving on from Instagram. Well, do we have any more questions about Instagram?
Yeah, I have one. It's
Yeah.
probably stupid, but the,
Oh, Terry's left. Where did he go?
I don't know.
Okay, sorry.
So, you can't follow a hashtag on Facebook, right? That's an Instagram thing that
Correct.
moves over to Facebook because you're on Instagram.
Well, so if you post too many hashtags on Facebook, that like completely takes you out of they don't want your posts with all the hashtags on Facebook.
Keep it to a minimum.
Keep that, yeah. So that's the problem with toggling the two accounts, because Instagram, you want hashtags. Facebook, you don't necessarily. You can put one or two, but like if you put 10, they're gonna be like, nope, we don't want it. Yeah.
So you have it in Instagram and then edit it in Facebook. Okay.
Okay.
To be clear, I've never ever done. it. Just so everyone understands.
Marlena's never done a hashtag. We got it. All right. So moving on to TikTok. Who has a TikTok account? Let's just start there. Do you use it for business? John? Yeah. Okay. So Cassandra does as well. I think that's probably the only two necessarily.
Took me forever to create a darn video. I mean, it was like, oh my God.
There's a lot of different things you can do. So we'll just briefly go into this. I mean, the whole point of TikTok is kind of to go viral. So I don't know if anybody's seen the guy from California with the juice bottle and he's on his like skateboard. I forget what his name is, but like he went super viral last year. And because he had that video, people just liked his profile and like they've continued to, yeah. So your goal is to get a video that everybody loves with and continues to share, and then you go viral, and then that's how you build up your base. Also hashtags are involved in TikTok, but it wasn't. It was just, that's what popped into my head. The only one that I can talk about. Anyway. So video based, trend based. So TikTok often has trends. So there's a lot of like dancing trends and things like that. So it's here for a minute and then it's gone. So if you don't jump on it while it's something that's popular, it's too late. Hashtag based again. Goal is to get others to follow you and like your videos, similar to Instagram, and that more people like and engage with your content, the more people it will show your videos to. And must consistently be creating content. So like daily or twice a day is what TikTok wants to see to make you relevant. Again, intended for phone and tablet use only. This is not for your computers. We're losing people. Let's go. Okay. TikTok and we're out. Cool. All right. So Twitter, this is not something that I particularly use, but it is still relevant. I feel like a lot more news sources use it. Businesses do as well to promote. Does anybody use Twitter in here? No, not really. Okay. So it's a platform, but much like Facebook and Instagram, consistency is key, hashtag based, but not necessary anymore. And Twitter used to just be text, but now it is photo and video as well. Last one, LinkedIn. I don't know how much of a social media platform this is necessarily, but it's a way to network with other people. So you should have a business profile created, and then you create a network of people, right? So I'm probably linked to a bunch of you in here, as well as contractors, as well as insurance agents, mortgage brokers, things like that. You can post like social media sites, so you can put listings and such up, geared towards making connections, good for networking, photos and videos, and hashtags can be used for LinkedIn as well. This isn't as important to be consistently posting, but you should at least have a profile here. So your to-do checklist, update your headshot if it's more than 5 years old. I'm not going to check with any of you, so if you don't do it, then you don't do it, but you should update bio and pull recent selling stats, awards, designations, and include those in your bio and make sure your bio is updated, and create or update all online profiles. So I'm going to send this presentation out, and I can even just throw a quick little checklist in there to make sure that you guys know which profiles are available. So that's basically the end. My caveat is, like I said in the beginning, if you're not going to consistently be using these platforms, it's better to not have them at all than to create it and not use it. That's my word of advice. Yeah.
So you mentioned the designations, like the President's Circle,
Sure.
whatever. Where do we find those little?
BrandServe has them.
In Brand.
Mhm. Yep.
And you just like.
You can download them. It's just like, yeah. Yep. Cool. Yeah. And you can, so in your CB desk profile, so I guess the chain of events, so you can put your social media links that will then show up on your Moxie website. So if you're going to create social media, do that and then make sure you're linking it to your, or putting it in your CB desk profile as a social media platform. You can also put a YouTube channel in there. I didn't talk about YouTube today, but something that I was doing when I was getting listings and using Listing Concierge, they put that video slideshow together. I would just throw it on my YouTube channel. And then you can send that out to people and be like, yeah, this is what I'm doing to promote houses. It's a pretty cool thing. And it goes out to ABC 27 Sundays at noon. So cool little thing. You don't have to actually get in front of a video. You can just put your Listing Concierge videos out there. Cool. Now they're having a party in the other room. They left the training and now everybody online is like, I have no idea what's going on. Cool. Any other questions before we end? I'll check the chat. Oh, there's a lot of things in the chat. Okay. What is this? Oh, I think, no, it was, yes. That's hilarious. All right, cool. Does anybody in the, on Teams have any questions before we go? No? Cool. All right, awesome. Thank you guys for jumping on. Half hour and we're out of here. I will send the recording out. I'll send the presentation out and a checklist of the platform. So cool. And the transcripts.